Every now and again, I get people that call me about living off-grid and how they can achieve that dream. As you know, I try to provide some free educational information about real estate, focus on Alaska and this area. So my tip for remote living or off-grid living, first off, start with buying some land. It's going to be hard to find what you want in such a unique niche if you buy something prefab, because everybody is going to build towards the standard, which is 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom houses, up to code, that kind of thing. So when you buy land, you have different categories of land. You have residential, which is what your subdivision home would be in. You have recreational, which may or may not have some electrical access, but usually is closer to the road system. Still doesn't guarantee road access, but likelihood of a driveway or an easement being cut in is absolutely there. And then you have remote land, which basically is them telling you there is no electricity there and there is no road access to that property. So it doesn't mean you can't put in a road. It doesn't mean you can't, do all that stuff. It just means it's harder. So really what you want to target is recreational land, preferably with some sort of access, unless you do want that remote property that you can only get to by boat or ATV trail or something like that. From there, then you want to start building your cabin and look at YouTube. There's a bunch of videos on how to do that. And you need power source. So look into solar panels, backup generators, those kinds of things, because hardwired electricity is going to be hard to find in some of these remote places. And lastly, do your best to keep the house as conforming as possible, because even though you want to die here, I'll tell you one day you're probably going to need to sell it. I've sold so many forever homes that 4, 5, 6 years later get sold again. So nothing in this world is truly forever, to include your residence. Maybe an illness will happen and you need to move closer to a hospital. So the closer that these buildings are to a conforming normal building, the easier they are going to be to sell. Meaning, like, you're not going to have to wait 10 years for somebody to show up with $200,000 in cash to buy your property. And then the more desirable you make these properties, the cleaner you keep these properties, even though I know you're trying to homestead and have chickens and goats and all that stuff, the better you can market these, the better you can liquidate them in the past or in the future. So keep that in mind. Hopefully that helped somebody realize their remote living dream.